Previously on Birds of the Air Travel.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's that one peeking up right there. That's Mount Everest. Stranded in the Himalayas.
Not a guide in sight.
I guess this day really took it out of me. Like physically and emotionally. Today's the day. We're getting an early start and we're heading to base camp. I'm really excited. I'm also really tired and yeah, really cold. Mornings are rough. Once I get moving, it'll be okay. We started hiking before dawn and I was so cold and exhausted that I didn't end up filming anything until after the sun came up. There's my ride. But I started to feel a lot better once it got sunny because it was instantly warmer. Now that we were getting really close to base camp, we'd see helicopters flying low over us every few minutes, and most of these were just sightseeing helicopters, but there were definitely some that were there to evacuate people who had altitude sickness. We were at almost 17,000 feet, or like 5,000 meters, so the simple act of just taking a step is basically a Herculean task up here.
There's 1, 2, 3. There's five yaks, guys.
Get it! A horse.
Oh, and a horse. 5 yaks and a horse.
We can already see it.
Really?
Yeah. Peasy said it's right over there. This is the Khumbu Glacier. Seeing the Khumbu Glacier for the first time was one of the most spectacular moments of my life. I've read so many books by different climbers about their experiences on Mount Everest, and it was just so amazing to be standing in this place that I've read about and dreamed about since I was a little kid. By now we were almost at Gorakshep, and when we arrived there, we checked into our tea house and had lunch, which for me meant I had like 3 bites of food before I couldn't eat anymore and just gave up. Don't be like me at altitude. Try to eat even if you don't feel like it. It's probably safe to say that our entire group is gonna make it, which is really awesome. I'm so excited. We've already seen the Khumbu Glacier. This morning was really rough, but once the sun came out, I felt a lot better and I'm ready to go. After lunch, we still had a lot of hiking left to get to base camp, and the terrain wasn't all that steep, but it was still quite exhausting. People kept riding past us on horseback, and a lot of these horses were just being brought out to base camp where they could be hired by trekkers who were too tired to make the return walk to Gorakshep. This little stretch of trail was the only part where it ever felt like the trail itself was somewhat dangerous. This area is prone to rock slides, and while we were walking, there were a couple of spots where some small rocks tumbled onto the trail in front of us.
When do we get to it?
After that.
100% or 50-50?
50-50.
What do you think, Peasy? Are we gonna make it?
Yeah, we will. Just a 15-minute, okay, guys?
And then a blizzard will come.
No, never.
Can you imagine doing this like 2 weeks ago?
No, I can't.
Even though this hike was tiring, I had enough excitement to propel me through it without too much difficulty, and it didn't hurt that it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. The moment we arrived at base camp was so exciting.
Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you, PG. Couldn't have done it without you. Go, boys!
We made it!
Yay!
Everybody made it! We all worked so hard to reach this goal, and for me, this was something I'd been dreaming of doing since I was like 10 years old, so I was just elated to finally be there. We wandered around base camp for a little bit, and I did not envy the trekkers who were actually camping out there now that I knew how cold it was at night. Kennedy brought a Send beer with her, and we all passed it around and had a sip.
No, it's not bad.
No, it's good. It's quite good.
Anybody else?
I gotta get a picture of Wisconsin.
You gotta hold it with the label out. That's what I learned from beer commercials.
I really felt like I was on top of the world, even though the real top of the world was still almost 3,500 meters above us. I was sad when we had to leave, but I also knew that we had to make it back to the tea house before night. And practically the second we turned around and started hiking again, it was like all of the energy just drained from my body. All I could think as we walked was that there was no possible way I was going to be able to climb Kalapatar, a nearby peak that we were supposed to start hiking up at 4:30 the next morning. Well, the whole group made it to base camp, which was really awesome, but I'm gonna be honest, I pretty much gave everything I had to give on the way back. It was exhausting. I don't know, this was by far the hardest day of the trek for me, but worth it to get to base camp. Now the question is, am I gonna go to Kalapatar tomorrow morning? I don't know. Yes. Vince has opinions. Anyway, just glad to be back. Thankfully, I perked back up after some rest, and it turned out Sandy had bought popcorn for our group to eat at dinner. And popcorn is one of my favorite snacks, so I actually managed to eat a bunch of it. After everybody found out how tall and steep Kalapatar is, Vince told me he was okay with me not wanting to do it anymore, and it turned out he was really the only one who wanted to do it. So because of that, he decided not to do it so that we all can walk a little bit further downhill today so that the following day we can get to Namche earlier. At this point, I'm super ready to be at a lower elevation. It's been amazing up here, but it's so cold, and honestly, I feel like just terrible all the time. I've completely lost my appetite, I can't stop blowing my nose, I have like a mild headache, and yeah, I'm excited to be lower where humans can breathe. That would be nice. In the grand scheme of things, everything I was feeling was very mild, and I've definitely watched other vlogs where people ended up with either altitude sickness or even food poisoning. In fact, right as we were leaving our tea house, we saw a guy getting helivac'd because of altitude sickness. This is our last view of Everest Base Camp. And we just saw an avalanche on our way out. We heard a loud crash echo through the valley, and then we turned around to see this cloud of snow way over on this mountain on the other side of the valley. And we also just met Pasang Dawa Sherpa. Pasang Dawa Sherpa has climbed Mount Everest 29 times as of the time I'm recording this. So it was really cool to get to meet him on our way out here. It took a while to get out of Gorakshep because we had to wait for lots of other trekkers who were headed up to base camp. There's a stream here yesterday.
I don't remember.
I don't know either. But after we got out of the initial traffic jam, the hiking was really easy because it was mostly flat. We made it to Lobuche in no time, and before I knew it, we were back at the Climbers Memorial at Lukla Pass. This meant it was almost time for lunch, and at this point I knew I had to eat, even if I didn't feel like it, so I forced myself to eat everything on my plate for the first time in like 4 days, and after that I had so much energy, I felt like a whole new person. After Dugla, we got to take a different trail than the one we'd come up, and this trail passed right through the village of Parache, where we took a break by a yak farm. If we'd climbed Kalapatar, this is where we would have stayed the night, but since we'd all skipped the peak, we had extra time to get a bit further along the trail before nightfall. I'm not gonna lie, walking downhill all day was so nice. Every day that we trekked down, we covered a similar amount of distance that had taken 2 days on the way up to base camp. That's how much faster you can go when you're going downhill and you're acclimatized. We ended up stopping in a village called Somare for the night. Our tea house had a warm shower, so I got to take my first shower in about 5 days, and it was so nice. It was a pretty long downhill trek today, and we ended up stopping in Somare for the night. Tomorrow we head down to Namche. I'm pretty sure I got really sunburned today. I was really hoping that wouldn't happen. We ended our evening with a tutorial by Sandy where he taught us how to fold our warm washcloths into chickens.
And this toe together. And this toe. And this toe together.
Those on opposite sides.
Yes.
Didn't realize so much dexterity would be required.
No can do.
Just choke it.
Just choke
it.
the chicken.
Choke
Not
that
too
chicken.
bad.
Good job, honey.
Thank you. It's my first piece of art that I've ever made.
Dad, it's just a pile.
That's so chicken like.
Oh my goodness.
Last night, I had the best sleep I've had in days. I got to shower for the first time since Tangboche. Getting up was amazing because I was well rested and it's warm enough here. Yeah, things are looking up. Today we're heading down to Namche, which should be a lot of fun. We're gonna probably have one last toast at the Irish pub and probably do some shopping, and it's gonna be great.
By the way, from here on out, I was obsessively coating my nose with lip balm because it was getting so raw from constantly having to blow it. So that's why my nose and upper lip are going to be shiny in some shots.
Yeah, coming through.
But for the second day of our descent, we were headed all the way back to Namche, which everyone was really excited about because we all wanted to hang around town in the evening. Half the group had something they wanted to buy from the pharmacy, and we could all shop for souvenirs now that we'd only have a short distance to carry them. Oh, and of course the Irish pub was also calling to us. We had a couple of steep hills to climb on the way, but they felt so much easier than they did a week ago now that we were acclimatized. We passed back through Tangboche, then went all the way back down to the river just so we could climb up another hill. As we got closer to Namche, there were opportunities for souvenir shopping along the trail, and I picked up this neat mushroom hat for my sister-in-law.
Hope you like your hat, Courtney.
Peasy found some edible berries for us to try.
Should we just the orange part?
Yeah.
What's it taste like?
Nature.
And we finally arrived back in Namche around sunset and checked into our tea house.
Oh, this looks nice.
Yeah. We actually have our own ensuite, complete with shower in here. Well, that's it for our second to last trekking day. It was a long one today, but it's gonna be an even longer one tomorrow. We're headed all the way back down to Lukla. So it took us 2 days to get here on the way up. It's gonna take us 1 day to get back down. Today, we did a little less than 2 days worth of walking, and we made it to Namche in time to do some shopping and to go to the Irish pub one last time.
Vince and I went out and stocked up on some lightweight souvenirs that I could fit into my day pack, and then we stopped into the pharmacy and checked our blood oxygen levels, which had improved a lot since the last time we checked them. At some point, the team from iTrek Everest made a Facebook post congratulating us on our successful trek, which contained a word of very timely advice. Oops. But in all seriousness, I think I gave up after drinking about a third of my hot rum punch and ended up just eating a lot of popcorn instead, which is honestly pretty typical.
Bring us sugar and tea and run day, yes. It's kind of hard to believe, but this is officially our last day of walking all day. I don't even know what we're gonna do with ourselves after this. But it is going to be all day. We have 21K to walk all the way back to Lukla. The beginning is gonna be pretty steep downhill, and then it'll be some Nepali flat, and then at the end, it's going to be universal up all the way back up to Lukla. So it's gonna be a long day, and we're trying to get started early.
Somewhat shockingly, I didn't get very sore at all over the course of our trek. I usually have pretty problematic knees, but so far my knees were doing fine, and I didn't have so much as a single blister on my feet. But this was all about to change, because this 13-mile day started with descending down the most never-ending hill of the entire trek. By the time we got to the Hillary Bridge, one of my IT bands was already hurting, and we'd barely made a dent in the distance we had to hike. Pretty soon, we exited Sagarmatha National Park, and outside of the park, we immediately started running into these huge trains of mules that were shipping supplies up the trail. Apparently, there are a couple of days each week where way more shipping happens, so we kept getting stopped by these huge lines for a good few hours, and we waited at this suspension bridge for a super long time as mule after mule after mule crossed it.
It's the human turn.
After we finally got our turn to cross the bridge, it was stop and go all the way up until lunch. We'd walk a little ways, then stop for a train of mules, then walk a little ways, then stop for another train of mules. We had lunch back at our first tea house in Tok Tok, and I got their veggie burger, which was super delicious, but at this point I was desperate for a real meat burger. I guess this was a sign that I was severely lacking in protein.
Coming with? Bless you.
After lunch, the mules were still monopolizing the trail to the point that even the yaks didn't know what to do with themselves.
Last bridge.
When we finally arrived in Lukla, it felt like a big city compared to all of the villages we'd been staying in. Even Namche. Everything was so lively, it took me a minute to adjust, but it was definitely a fun moment because now we'd officially completed our trek.
Oh, we did it.
We did it.
I hobbled into our final tea house with a very sore knee, feet covered in blisters, but feeling very accomplished.
This room is huge. Look at how much space we have. We're back in Lukla. I just had the most amazing hot shower, I'm pretty sure, of my entire life. Feels great. Yeah, just to wrap this up, if I have any thoughts or advice, I think it would be, if you want to do this and you're on the fence, if you're relatively physically fit already, you'll probably be fine. We did about 6 months of training, but really we didn't do anything too intense. We don't live up high or anything, but we had like a staircase and a hill near our house, and we would just go to that once or twice a week and just go up and down and up and down and up and down. And me and Vince already walked 3 miles a day together. Honestly, I felt like that was pretty sufficient training. If you can get some altitude training in, that will help a lot too, which Vince and I did. We went to Colorado, but Thaddeus did not, and he did great on this trek. I think all of my fears of not being able to do this were pretty much unfounded. It went pretty fine. I actually feel a lot better than I thought I would. I would also say, if you want to do this trek, it's probably better to have a pretty flexible mindset going in. As you saw, our schedule did get messed up here and there, but everything worked out great. So I would say definitely try to build in some free days at the end of your trip so that you don't miss your international flights if your schedule for the trek gets messed up. Flexibility is key. What else? Do your best to appreciate and enjoy the moments that you're out here. Because yeah, sometimes it will be hard, and sometimes you're gonna feel a little bit miserable if you just remind yourself, wow, you're in the Himalayas, you're trekking to Mount Everest base camp. Try to take that in when you can and appreciate it, because it's a really special thing. If you're coming in the fall, definitely pack for hot and cold weather, because it was really hot in the daytime and really cold at night, and you're definitely going to want to be warm in those tea houses, especially up high. I would also highly recommend hiring a guide service. We did a public group trip with iTrek Everest. You probably would recognize them from Kara and Nate's YouTube videos because they also went with the same trekking company. The reason we chose them is because I kind of thought they were a really good value for the cost that they charge, specifically because they include all of your meals on the trip. So that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and hot drinks. And all of that stuff gets like more expensive. It really starts to add up as you go higher up the mountains. Our guides, Peasy and Mais, have been amazing. And obviously this would be impossible for us to do without our porters. They've also been amazing. And yeah, I would definitely recommend iTrek Everest. They were fantastic the entire time. Those are my major thoughts having just finished the trek. Tomorrow we get back on our flight from Lukla to Ramachop Airport, and then we're driving to Kathmandu. Vince and Tad and I do have a couple days there of exploring, so it'll definitely be a different vibe, and we're really excited to see what Kathmandu has to offer.
The final dinner of the trek was a big celebration with Peasy, Mais, and all our porters, and these guys are all so awesome, and they made it possible for all of us to achieve this dream.
Come on, Dennis.
After dinner, we stayed up late and had a little dance party before bed. In the morning, Vince, Tad, Peasy, and I took the flight from Lukla back to the Ramachop airport, while the rest of the group took a helicopter straight back to Kathmandu. Once again, we managed to survive the flight.
We made it.
The more direct road back to Kathmandu was open now, so we had a much shorter drive, and we made it back to Hotel Low Mustang in time for lunch. We ran back into the rest of our team at the hotel, and Tim had already picked out a burger place nearby for lunch. This burger was everything that I'd been craving. Like, this is how you end an Everest base camp trek. Our trek really fulfilled a long-held dream of mine, and living that dream was honestly even better than I'd hoped it would be. I absolutely loved the entire experience, including the hard parts. It was so amazing to finally get to see these places that I've read about and seen in documentaries, and to witness the raw beauty of the Himalayas and the fortitude of the people who live in the Khumbu region.
Next time on Birds of the Air Travel.
So we all arrived back in Kathmandu yesterday. I think we can climb some stairs.
Sure. No, do I want to?
No, I'm not sure.